Hello dear viewers, few days are remaining for TET 2023 exam, primary level in West Bengal, and I have seen that, or I have observed that there are no such video lectures about understanding comprehension or how to solve a comprehension or an unseen passage either from prose or poem, because this is very important part in TET exam as well as in WBCS mains exams, compulsory English and other such main exams where compulsory English is mandatory. There used to come a passage or an unseen passage or a reading comprehension upon which certain questions are asked, and the candidate has to answer the questions by reading deeply or by understanding the text, the passage of poem or prose. So if this is the most important part, then why should not a video need to be made on this? This is why I have undertaken the commitment for making a video that is going to help the aspirants for the recent WB TET exams, and of course also for WBCS and other main exams where solving passages are required. Passages or reading comprehension are some unseen text extracted from newspapers, from current affairs incidents, from various branch of academics, from climate, atmosphere, environment, from everything, from essay, from biography, autobiography. So it is not easy to solve out the comprehension text questions, because in competitive level exams there used to be very tough or moderate type of questions. There used to be some implied questions with implicit, that required implicit answers based on the text, based on the passage. So in this case you have to learn the method how to solve out the questions answers from the text. And one thing, don't mug up the text from your school level unseen or the text from the comparative level unseen. There are a huge difference. The school level unseens are totally the surface level questions or the surface level understanding are required there, but in comparative level exams deeper level understanding, implied understanding, the rhetorical understanding of the text, the indirect meaning, the central idea of the text are to be required. And In some cases, statistics are given, data science analysis are given, and a candidate has to answer the questions accordingly. And to answer the questions to its best level, one need to comprehend the comprehension. How to comprehend? Yes, there are some tricks and techniques that I in this video will give you. There are two parts, two components of a text: the vocabulary parts and the textual part. Vocabulary part and the text comprehension part. From these two parts, the understanding of entire passage depend. And along with this, one another part is required. It is direct. It is direct, and the indirect parts are indirect parts are prior knowledge about current affairs in national or international interest, be it polity, sports, bilateral program, all right. And 4 is natural calamities or man-made disaster, or unwanted incidents. Natural calamities like earthquake, man-made disaster like flood, deforestation, afforestation, and unwanted incidents like train accident, bus accident, boat capsize, fire, etc. 5 writers or poets, famous writers or poets, books, essays, biographies or autobiographies, critical, treatise, etc. Poems, etc. These are indirect. So these are the main thing that you need to acquire first for understanding a comprehension. So first, the vocabulary knowledge, the vocabulary part. So the vocabulary part, keywords that help you have inference about the text, about the comprehension. Some keywords will be there, and that words will form your cognitive level, your understanding level. And if you don't know any words, the contextual, the surrounding meaning of the meaning of the surrounding sentences or surrounding words will help you understand will help you mean the word. And these words are used totally textually. A single word has different meaning in different place. The word's meaning varies from place to place, from writing to writing. So if a word is is there, you have to understand according to the text, textually, and to understand or to increase your vocabulary storage, you have to read, you have to practice reading daily. You have to read newspapers, listen news, and note down the keywords from the newspapers. You have to read books, manuals, pamphlets. By this way, your vocabulary power will be increased. Otherwise, there is no shortcut to increase your vocabulary. You have to stick to the other text comprehension part. Text comprehension part is totally based on the text. Even if you know text name from where it is extracted, you have to grip the answers from the text only, from the extracted text only. Either it is extracted from autobiography, from biography, from economics, from statistics, from current affairs, from polity, whatever. If you know the origin of the text, you have to depend on the text only, because the text itself will give you the right answers, not the context. And here, in this case, you need to have some prior knowledge. Prior knowledge. What prior knowledge about? Prior knowledge about the current affairs, as I have mentioned, the current affairs, the history, the polity, the school level learning, the school and college level learning, the examination that you are preparing to sit, the eligibility level. Up to the eligibility level, you have to know the all text, all school level and eligibility level learning. You have to have the prior knowledge. Suppose you have been given a word that is Ramsar site. Ramsar sites from environment. So you should have the prior knowledge about Ramsar sites. Suppose you have given flora and fauna. You should have known about the term flora and fauna. So this is the basic things you need to acquire before solving out a text. There is no easy way. And the indirect knowledge are prior knowledge about current affairs, yes, and natural calamities or man-made disaster. You have to be very much well aware about the current affairs, about the incidents happening around you. Natural calamities, man-made disaster, natural calamities like earthquake, man-made disaster like COVID-19. So there are so many texts from COVID-19. Unwanted incidents, building collapse, fire, and famous writers, poets, books, essays. Your school level famous writers, your school or college levels, up to the eligibility level. Suppose Wordsworth. So you have read in your school level the Daffodils, the Solitary Reaper, Year 7 from Wordsworth. So you need to have prior knowledge about Wordsworth writing, his writing's features, characteristics, because the unseen passage or prose passage, be it prose or poems, will come from very famous works, from very famous writers, or from very famous incidents. You know that? And you know, famous writers are like M.K. Gandhi from Indian perspective, Rabindranath Tagore, Abul Kalam, Khushwant Singh. In international perspective, Shakespeare, Thomas Hardy, Charles Dickens. Autobiography, biography are mostly come. And in poem section, there are, you know, famous poets' poems. John Keats, Shelley. These tricks and techniques will be applicable for Bengali passage also. You know, in Bengali section there will be passage, in English section there will be passage. Both in Bengali section and English section there will be a poem and you know, passage will consist perhaps 9 or 8 questions, and poems will consist perhaps 5, 6 or 7 questions with antonyms and synonyms, with idioms. So besides understanding comprehension or a passage from prose or poems, you have to learn simultaneously the idiomatic expressions. The vocabulary, you know, I mentioned the vocabulary of, you know, of the word, the antonyms, the synonyms, the one word substitution, etc., etc. Then you will have confidence to do well in your TET or WBCS mains exams. You know, it is all about, you know, carrying of marks. Only pass marks is easy in comparison to, you know, securing highest marks, securing 120 above or 130 above out of 150 from TET, or out of, you know, 200 from, you know, WBCS mains. So these are the tricks and techniques, and these are the things that you have to know before doing a passage, before answering the questions of a passage. And one thing, you have to read the passage repeatedly in connection to the questions. And if the passage is supposed to be big, a bigger one, a long passage, then you have to summarize the whole passage into 2 or 3 paragraphs with the keywords, and the unnecessary examples, unnecessary detailings of the words or the expressions you need to avoid. There will be a central idea, and the supporting words you have to find out the supporting words which enhance the central idea. And there will be some unnecessary examples, unnecessary words. In prose section, in poems, you have to understand from its thematic expression. From the style of the poet, the genre that he applies, devices that he applies in his poems, and to understand in what topic the poet tries to put forth through his poem, his or her poem. So this is what I have to say about a text, about a comprehension, about an unseen passage, and I will give you an example of the same. In this case, from this understanding, from these tricks and techniques, I will give you I am giving you here on your screen a text from CTET that was held recently, in August 2023, the English passage about Gita Garud 69. So you read the text and try to answer the questions. It is very easy one, and I will make another video by collecting your responses from the commenting section. And if you want that the lecture be in Bengali, then please comment on the section box, because I am going to give you a Bengali lecture about understanding comprehension or understanding an unseen passage and how to solve the question of an unseen passage. So you please read the text and try to answer the questions given on your screen. So thank you for today. Yes.